February 1st, 2026, Rod Laver Arena, a date that will forever mark the fall of an empire. Carlos Alcaraz defeated Novak Djokovic in the Australian Open final. For the first time in 11 attempts, Djokovic lost a championship match in Melbourne, 10 victories, 0 defeats. Until now. At 38 years old, the Serbian legend stood at the trophy ceremony and admitted something unthinkable. In his words, "I must be very honest and say that I didn't think that I would be standing in a closing ceremony of a Grand Slam once again." So what happened? How did the most dominant player in Australian Open history fall to a 22-year-old challenger? The answer lies not in one moment, but in the voices of those who know this game best. The first person to explain the defeat? Djokovic himself. In his post-match interview, the Serbian was brutally honest. "The first set was one of the best sets I've played the last couple of years," he said, "but he couldn't sustain it. Just a bad miss at 4-4 and break point, and that forehand. I had a good look at that forehand. My forehand broke down in important moments. That's what happens." He continued, "One or two shots can change the momentum of the match and switch things around," which happened. "I remain disappointed with the way I felt in the second and third after an incredible start." The statistics revealed the damage. 46 unforced errors from Djokovic compared to 27 from Alcaraz, nearly double. For the most consistent player in tennis history, this was shocking. The answer starts with a number, 16. That's the age gap between these two champions. Djokovic, at 38, faced Alcaraz at 22. Both had survived grueling 5-set semifinals just 48 hours earlier. Djokovic battled Jannik Sinner for 4 hours and 9 minutes. Alcaraz went even longer, 5 hours and 27 minutes against Alexander Zverev. But recovery tells a different story. Djokovic himself acknowledged this reality. "Biologically, I think it's going to be a bit easier for him to recover," he admitted. Former champion Marat Safin had predicted this dynamic before the match even began. When you're young and you're ambitious and everything is interesting and new, it's easy to embrace pressure, Safin explained. Youth wasn't just an advantage. It was the foundation of everything that followed. What forced those errors? Cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar watched and saw something extraordinary. What stood out at the Australian Open was Carlos Alcaraz's patience. In the longer rallies, he stayed composed, kept his opponent under pressure, and chose his moments smartly. And the way he covered the court, so quick and precise, was a joy to watch, Tendulkar observed. This wasn't just defense. Alcaraz converted defensive positions into attacking opportunities. A ball that should be a winner against anyone else became a setup shot for his counterattack. Indian cricket star Yuvraj Singh captured the impact. At 22, playing with that kind of belief is special. Stepping onto the grand stage and taking down a legend takes heart. Massive respect to Carlos Alcaraz. Djokovic had to go for more, take bigger risks, hit closer to the lines. And that's where the errors came flooding in. One witness carried special weight, Rafael Nadal, sitting in the stands at Rod Laver Arena. The retired Spanish legend held the previous record, youngest to complete the career Grand Slam at 24 years old. Now he watched his compatriot shatter it at 22. After the match, Nadal posted his thoughts. "Congratulations, Carlos Alcaraz, for winning the Australian Open and conquering the career Grand Slam. Congratulations, Novak Djokovic, on reaching another final in Melbourne and continuing to make history in our sport. The changing of the guard was complete." The man who once held the record now applauded its destruction. And Djokovic, Nadal's greatest rival, stood on the other side of history, no longer the conqueror, but the conquered. The man whose name adorns the stadium offered his perspective. Rod Laver, an 11-time Grand Slam champion, knows what greatness looks like. His assessment? "Congratulations on your first Australian Open crown and another major title, Carlos Alcaraz. Your talent, courage, and joy for the game light up our sport. Novak Djokovic, what you continue to bring to tennis is beyond belief. Two words stand out: courage and joy. Courage to attack a legend on his fortress court. Joy to play freely under immense pressure. These aren't just compliments, they're the psychological ingredients that allowed a 22-year-old to dismantle a champion." After losing set 1, something changed in Alcaraz's approach. Former Australian Open champion Lleyton Hewitt had identified this quality before the final. The more important the match and the bigger the stage, that's where you see him play his best tennis. In set 1, Alcaraz played reactive tennis. From set 2 onward, he became the aggressor. The tempo increased, and suddenly Djokovic was scrambling. Hewitt added crucial context. When you've won 6 Grand Slams and you're only 22, I reckon anyone would feel probably like that too. This is the inverse pressure dynamic. While Djokovic carried the weight of chasing a 25th slam, Alcaraz played with the freedom of someone who already had 6. No desperation, no fear. Passive Alcaraz lost set 1. Even in defeat, Djokovic showed championship class. During the trophy ceremony, he turned to Alcaraz with genuine admiration. "Congratulations, Carlos. An amazing tournament. What you have been doing, I think the best words to describe it are historic, legendary." He continued, "He's a very nice young man, good values, nice family, already a legendary tennis player at only 22 years of age." Then came the final acknowledgement. Everything is possible in his case, no question about it. Former US Open champion Juan Martín del Potro echoed this sentiment. "Thank you, Djokovic, for what you did. You are unique. I love you very much. Great, Carlitos. You are a total champion." This wasn't hollow sportsmanship. This was a great champion recognizing he'd been beaten by someone playing at a level he could no longer match. To understand the final, we must revisit what happened 48 hours earlier. Djokovic's semifinal against Jannik Sinner wasn't just a match. It was a war that lasted 4 hours and 9 minutes. After that brutal victory, Djokovic spoke with defiance. "I never stopped believing in myself. There's a lot of people that doubt me. I want to thank them all because they gave me strength." It was a triumph of will, a statement to his critics, but it came at a devastating cost. That emotional and physical expenditure left nothing in the tank for Alcaraz. The body can recover in 48 hours. The nervous system cannot. Djokovic had poured everything into beating Sinner, the defending champion who had beaten him 5 straight times. He won that battle but arrived at the final already depleted. Behind the physical dominance lay something deeper. Mental strength. After the match, Alcaraz revealed the internal battle. "I think nobody knows how hard I have been working to get this trophy. I chased this moment so much." But he also admitted vulnerability. His legs were shaking as he served for the title. Even champions feel fear, but they don't let it stop them. Rod Laver had identified this quality. "Your talent, courage, and joy for the game light up our sport." Alcaraz felt the pressure. His legs literally trembled, but he executed anyway. He didn't need to be fearless. He just needed to be brave enough to act despite the fear, and that made all the difference. After the match, Djokovic spoke with unusual uncertainty. "God knows what happens tomorrow, let alone in 6 months or 12 months. It has been a great ride," he said. Then came a crucial distinction. "I have belief and confidence to win a slam, but I did not expect it." That's different. Belief versus expectation. One is hope, the other is assumption. He explained, "I lowered my expectations the last couple of years, which allows me to let go of unnecessary stress." This is a champion accepting reality. At 38, after losing in the semifinals of all 4 slams in 2025, Djokovic no longer assumes victory. He still trains to win, still competes to win, but he's released the crushing pressure of needing to win. The question now, is that wisdom or resignation? The numbers tell the story of a seismic shift. Alcaraz and Sinner have now won the past 9 Grand Slam titles between them, dating back to Djokovic's triumph at the 2023 US Open. 9 consecutive slams, 2 players, both under 25. Djokovic acknowledged this reality with humor. "There's Sinner. The two of them are going to be fighting for the biggest titles, and then the youngsters like myself are going to try to catch up." He smiled when he said youngsters, but the joke contained truth. The era of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic dominating tennis for 2 decades has ended. The Alcaraz-Sinner era has begun, and Djokovic, once the hunter, now finds himself the elder statesman watching from just outside the throne room. So why did Djokovic lose? First, age and recovery, 38 versus 22. Biology doesn't negotiate. Second, tactical adjustment. Alcaraz transformed after set 1. Djokovic couldn't counter-adjust fast enough. Third, the Sinner cost. That semifinal victory drained Djokovic's reserves before the final even began. Fourth, speed forcing errors. Alcaraz's court coverage pushed Djokovic into high-risk tennis that produced those 46 unforced errors. Fifth, the mental weight of history versus the freedom of youth. After match point, Alcaraz collapsed to the court in joy. Later, he signed the television camera lens. Job finished. 4 out of 4 complete. Djokovic's final words: "I lost to a #1 in the world. The king fell because a new king rose." And in Melbourne on February 1st, 2026, the coronation was complete. Sex 1.0.